So my wife's dream was to open up her own business. In a middle school bus, we drove by this as kids. Eventually, we get married and just like, this is where the brewery's gonna be. We ended up getting the spot that we always wanted. We're in debt forever, but at least we did it. Her challenge to me was, before we opened our business, she wanted me to win an award in every state in the country. And it had to be an AHA or a BJCP sanctioned event, so there was actual judges, but that's how we created a following. When you see outside, you see Wolf Brewing Co., but we are a full-fledged restaurant. And then we have a lot of other things to offer, but one thing that makes us different is all our beers are gluten reduced. So the beers that are made here are celiac friendly or gluten intolerant friendly. The beer makes you feel a little lighter. You don't feel as bloated. I think a lot of people are intolerant, they just don't know. Initially, I did it for my sister. My sister has an autoimmune disease, and gluten is very bad for her. We're very sensitive to allergies, especially our kitchen. Beer's like a reverse hangman. It loses a hand, an arm, a leg as it's transferred. Every pocket of oxygen slowly ruins it. Right behind me, you'll see some serving tanks. Those are my favorite because the beer goes from fermenter to serving tank. It's the freshest beer you'll get because it left one tank and went to one other. It didn't go to a keg, then a can. So we do a lot of Czech styles, and if you see on our draft system back there, there's a lot of wooden handles. They're from the Czech Republic. They're a special draft faucet. So we do Milkos, which I'm sure you're familiar of, and crisp pours, which is your standard pour, and then we do 7-minute slow pours. Crisp pour is always, it's crisp, it's effervescent, it's got flavor, but when we do the slow pour, you're filling the mug up like a Milko, and you let it settle slowly, and you keep adding to it, adding to it. Eventually, you're left with this dome of Cool Whip-like head out of the top of the glass. It degasses it because it takes 7 minutes to pour, so it's creamier and smoother. If you have all three next to each other, they're all a little different. My Czech relatives are rolling in their graves, here and then I put, something with fruit or spices or whatever through one of those faucets because they're meant for Pilsner. So we've entered a lot of commercial competitions too, and one was the US Beer Open. So I thought I want to enter my Pilsner just because Pilsners you can't screw up. Everything is there. If you have a flaw, it stands out like a sore thumb. And we won a gold medal one year, which was incredible. Every brewer has a little different methodology of how they do what they do. And it's not that one's better than the other. I think they all have a little specific vibe that's different that I think adds a unique character to the beer trail.